So we are working today with fractions, decimals, and percent. So if you have not yet written this at the top of your page, go ahead and do so now. So in your math message, you were given a set of fractions that you needed to convert into a percentage, right? So I asked you to use your calculator for this one because it's hard with our denominator as being 8 to do that in our brain right now. So the first step in order to calculate a percent is first to use our decimal and then into our percent. So what I'm going to do here is into my calculator, I'm going to divide my numerator by my denominator, right? Because we've got this as a fraction bar, but what else does this symbol mean right there? Division is right. So if I do 1 divided by 8, I get decimal 125 or 125 thousandths. Okay, so 1/8 is equal to 125 thousandths if I wanted to write an equivalent fraction, right? But when we think about percentages, we know our denominator needs to be the number 100, so this doesn't help me here. I can write this as a decimal, and then I want to just simply multiply this by 100. I can do this in two ways, right? I can multiply by 10, multiply by 100 for 12.5%, or I can take in my calculator and multiply by 100, and I still get 12.5%. So if you wrote 12.5% for this, raise the roof for yourself. Okay, so let's do the same thing for 3/8. I know 3/8, 3 divided by 8. My decimal is 375 thousandths. That doesn't help me. I need to get this into hundredths, right? So I multiply this by 10 by 100, and I've got 37.5 or 37 5/10%. If I wanted to multiply this by 100 in my calculator, it'd be the same thing right there. Notice how it went from decimal here to decimal right there. So all I'm doing is taking my numerator, dividing it by denominator. I will get a decimal and multiply it by 100. Okay, I'll show you again for 5/8. I take 5 divided by 8, and I get decimal 625 or 625 thousandths, right? I need to now take my decimal and multiply it by what number, friends? 100. Okay, so I can do this just 100, 62.5, or I can multiply by 100 on my calculator, and I still get 62 5/10%. And then 7/8. Notice how my percents, as my numerator gets bigger, it's getting closer to 1, right? It's getting closer to the whole, or 100%. So I'm going to be even closer to 100% or my whole on this one right here. So I have 7 divided by 8 to get my decimal. And then I'm going to multiply by 100 or times 100 on my calculator. And I get 87.5% or 87.5%. So if you were to earn 7 out of 8 points on this, what's the nearest percentage here? I would round this. I don't report in fractions of percents. What would I give you on that? Yeah, 88% B plus then, right? Right. So if we only got 5 out of 8, it'd be 63% D. Only 3 out of 8 to be 30. I'd round this up to 38% F, and only 1 out of 8 super duper F, right? Only 13% of those. Okay? So friends, today, come think about me, please. Today we're going to be thinking about using our calculators with much bigger numbers, but they're going to apply the same rule, okay? So I hope that you followed along with me and jotted this down. I'm going to erase here and show you how to do this with much, much bigger numbers. Same procedure, same whole thing here. Okay? So actually, I'm going to make my board horizontal here so you can flip, you can flip yours so it's horizontal also. And this last thing I'm going to do is we're going to be using much bigger numbers when we think about countries and population. So I'm going to draw a chart on here. I want you to draw the same chart with me. We're going to be comparing population of China versus the whole world. China versus the world, that's right. Okay? So we've got population. Okay? China's population. I'm going to write this. Okay? So I've got thousand, millions, billions. So it's 1,298,848,000 right there. Okay? So we're going to round this. Rounded population. Let's round this to the nearest million. Okay, so go ahead and underline that digit in the millions. I look over to my right and I ask myself, am I going to use my thumb when I count with that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my thumb, so I'm going to round up, right? So my rounded population then, let's get my Wilbur Wright draft out of here. My rounded population, I keep these all the same, except for this one. I'm going to round it up. So I've got 1,299,000,000, and the rest go to zeros. Okay, so we think about the world as 6,378,000,000, and this is already a rounded population. Yeah, it's a rounded population. So go ahead and put that in this part here as well. Well, roughly it is about 7 billion people if we were to round this to the nearest billion. The information that I have from the student reference book says there's about 6 billion if we're rounding to the nearest billion. Just getting this from my student reference book. So if you've got different information, we can talk about it and try and research that. Okay? So, guys, I want to think about how I can figure out what percent China is versus the world. So what's my total population? What's my whole? What's my whole? Yes. That's right. That's right. Here's my whole, right? So if I wanted to write a fraction for the whole world, 100%, it'd be 6,378,000. Or 78 million, I'm sorry, you're right. 6,378,000,000 over my whole, which is 6,378,000,000. And the percentage of that, you can go ahead and throw it in your calculator, but it's going to be 1 is your decimal. I want to times that by 100. So my percentage is 100%, right? That's all right. That's all right. Okay. So I want you now to write a fraction to figure out how I can find just China. Is my whole going to change? No. Go ahead and write the fraction in your notebook that will represent the population of China. you should have written, I'm doing rounded populations. And if you would have done this, that's fine. But we're just doing rounded populations. I should have been more specific. And it's okay if you did the regular population. But here we're going to find just China, right? And you guys are saying in your calculators you don't have enough space. You can. So Elsie, go ahead and put that into your calculator there. And let's figure out that decimal.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, I like that. I fit it all in. I'm going to give her a chance to. What'd you get, Gunnar? Run to the nearest thousand for me. When I do this, I've got, well, it doesn't really matter. My phone will do this without it being sideways. So you guys just watch me and we'll go with this, all right? Watch me. Watch me calculate the percent of China's population versus the whole world here. So I have 1,299,000,000 and then my 1, 2, 3 thousands. Okay? I would do have to calculate it this way. Okay, alright. So I've got 1,299,000,000 divided by my whole here, which is 6,378,000,000 equals, okay? So I've got decimal. Go ahead and with me, friends. We've got decimal 203, but there's a 6 next to it, so let's make that a 4, rounding it to the nearest thousandth. Okay? So then what's the percent on there? What's the percent, sir? Roughly about 20%, or if I want an exact, it's 20.4% right there. Okay. So that's almost, that's a fifth of the whole world. That is a large population right there. All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. You can say goodbye.